How's it going, everybody? My name is Philip, and today I'm trying something a little bit different. Something really caught my attention, and so I don't know. I just feel like I kind of want to watch it a little bit. So it's the 10 biggest explosions caught on camera. I don't know why. It looked interesting, and so when I clicked on it, literally on the it's not the thumbnail, but on the right now, as I have it paused, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a car shop. So it's kind of interesting that top 10 biggest explosions, or maybe not top 10, but maybe just 10 big explosions, is one of them is in a car shop, like oil changers type of shop. So that's kind of interesting. I also got a new camera, so hopefully it might look a little bit better. I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks like it might be better, but I'll have to see in editing and post-production and all that. So hopefully it looks nicer. So I'm interested to see what the biggest explosions caught on camera count is. So this is as of September of 2021. So if there's anything that's happened after that, we might not get to watch it. Anyways, but let's check it out, because I'm kind of intrigued.
Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have terrible luck for the next week.
Damn.
Explosions
okay, so
are
that
either
didn't
natural
count.
or artificial.
Okay.
Regardless of the circumstances surrounding it, it results in loss of life and property.
Oh, damn.
Here are the 10 biggest explosions caught on camera. Number 10. Chernobyl.
That was
In
caught on camera?
1986, a nuclear reactor exploded at Chernobyl in Ukraine, which was still a part of the Soviet Union. The blast blew
all
off a
Russia's fault.
2,000
Just
ton
throwing it
lid
out there.
off the reactor and sent out 400 times more radioactive fallout than the Hiroshima bomb, thereby contaminating more than 77,000 square miles of Europe. About 600,000 people were exposed to high doses of radiation, and more than 350,000 people were evacuated from the infected areas. The accident killed 30 operators and firefighters within 3 months, and several other people died later. 237 people were diagnosed with acute radiation syndrome, of which some of them died within a few weeks. The disaster was a unique one and the only accident in the history of commercial nuclear power where radiation-related fatalities occurred. The Chernobyl blast contributed to the fall of the Soviet Union.
Oh.
More than 30 years on, scientists estimate that the zone around the plant would be inhabitable for up to 20,000 years.
Damn.
Number 9.
Wait, hold on.
Trinity blast.
I mean, they just showed the aftermath. They didn't really actually show the actual explosion. So does that actually count? I don't think it counts.
The first atomic bomb in history detonated in 1945 and was dubbed the Gadget. It exploded at a force of 20 kilotons of TNT. While watching the test, J. Robert, a scientist, said that all he could think of was the line in the Hindu scripture that talked about death. Nuclear weapons were later used to end World War II and ushered in decades of annihilation and fear. Later, some civilians in New Mexico might have been exposed 1,000 times to public radiation far beyond the recommended limit. A special tour of the site was conducted in 1995 to mark the 50th anniversary of the Trinity test. More than 5,000 visitors were at the venue to commemorate the occasion. The area averages 2,000 to 3,000 visitors yearly and remains a popular destination for people interested in atomic tourism. It is open to the public twice yearly, and the residual radiation at the site is 10 times higher than average background radiation.
Jeez.
Number 8. China warehouse explosion. 2 explosions in the port of Tianjin, northern China, left more than 100 people dead and more hundreds injured.
Oh,
the blast happened in a warehouse containing flammable and hazardous chemicals like ammonium nitrate, sodium cyanide, potassium nitrate, and sodium nitrate.
When did this happen?
An official of the Tianjin Dongjiang Port Ruihai International Logistics was arrested after the blast. There were suggestions that the water sprayed on the chemicals may have triggered the explosion. Calcium carbide, for example, reacts with water to create a highly explosive acetylene. The China Earthquake Network Center said the first explosion had a power equivalent to 3 tons of TNT detonating, while the second one was 21 tons. The second was so big that the satellites orbiting Earth picked it up too.
Almost looks kind of like a volcano in a sense.
Underwater nuke test. On July 26, 1946, the U.S. military experimented with a new type of nuclear test. In charge, the task force suspended an atomic device 90 feet below the water's surface in one of the isolated rings of coral and land that make up the Marshall Islands.
Whoa!
The military leaders who proposed the test wanted to prove that their ship could ride out a nuclear attack and that the fleet was obsolete. Nuclear scientists questioned the point of the test as it turned out to be more controversial than expected. When the nuclear device exploded, it created a giant underwater bubble of hot gas. Seconds later, the bubble hit the seafloor and blasted a crater 30 feet deep and 1,800 feet wide.
Damn.
The lagoon's surface erupted into a giant water column shot more than 5,000 feet into the air. LSM-60 and Arkansas, a battleship, were among the first ships to be sunk by an atomic bomb. Many other ships were not spared as radiation levels became dangerously high. The nuclear test slated for the same year was postponed after the aftermath of the first one.
Yeah, I would think so. Like, what the hell?
Carbide pesticide plant in Bhopal. An explosion at the Union Carbide pesticide plant in Bhopal on December 3, 1984 has to be one of the worst disasters in history. The blast killed over 2,000 people and another 200,000 were injured when toxic gas enveloped the city.
Wow.
Bhopal is home to over 1 million people and is located in India's Madhya Pradesh region. A day before, workers on a late-night shift were supposed to make Pesticide 7. Within the next 12 hours, a series of errors led to the disaster. There was a problem with one of the tanks, and at about 11 p.m. that night, they noticed a dangerous level of pressure in the tanks. Soon, the workers were having a physical reaction to the leak, but the supervisor wanted to wait for a tea break to investigate the situation. By then, it was too late as the plant blew up in flames by 12:15 a.m.
Damn.
Firefighters tried to stop the gas from escaping the plant, but to no avail as equipment failed to function. The drivers of the emergency buses ran away rather than drive workers to safety. The workers were unable to immediately inform local authorities, claiming that the phone lines weren't working. Number 5.
That sucks.
Mount St Helens eruption. Mount St Helens has been dormant since 1857. However, there was an explosive steam eruption on March 27, 1980, followed by alternating periods of minor explosions. On the morning of May 18, 1980, a 5.1 magnitude earthquake triggered a gigantic landslide on the mountain's north face. The blast reached 660 degrees Fahrenheit and speeds of about 300 miles per hour. The blast was followed by floods, pyroclastic flows, and mud flows.
So I kind of remember
this.
this.
The rivers around Mount St. Helens were buried deep.
Okay, and when I say I remember this, when I was younger, my parents, we took a trip up to Washington, in the Seattle area, and we went and saw, there was like some footage of this, and we saw pretty much this, and there's like, it wasn't necessarily a national park, but it was like this little this building that had like a little theater room to watch this, and strangely enough, souvenir shops. Maybe it was a national park that we went to. I don't know. No, because I think we did drive up a little bit towards it.
In deep layers of debris and mud. There was also a vertical eruption of gas and ash formed 16 miles away that produced ash falls as far east as central Montana. About 57 people and thousands of animals were killed, and a lateral air blast blew down trees. Hundreds of square miles were reduced to nothing, causing over $1 billion in damage. The May 18, 1980 eruption is the deadliest and economically destructive volcanic eruption in the history of the United States. A film crew that wanted to document the destruction lost their way as the compass spun in circles. Number 4.
Wow.
Fertilizer plant explosion in Texas.
I don't remember this.
On April 17, 2013, a fire outbreak at the West Fertilizer Company turned into an ammonium nitrate explosion. The facility blew up only 20 minutes after the fire was reported to emergency dispatchers.
Oh shit!
West, a small town hosting the facility, felt the impact emotionally and physically. Following the incident, the city received support from well-meaning individuals and neighboring communities. The explosion claimed 15 lives, 12 of which were first responders. Over 160 people sustained various degrees of injuries, and the catastrophe wrecked over 500 buildings. This event happened barely a few days after the Boston Marathon bombing, so people thought it was an act of terrorism.
That's probably why I didn't hear about it, because everyone was talking about the Boston Marathon bombing, and everyone was talking about that, so I don't think I would have heard about this because of that, or didn't get as much coverage. They might have glanced over it
Because of the effect of the blast, the West community needed help. Residents donated food supplies and blood to help survivors. Over $290,000 of relief funds were raised, and a vigil was held to pray for people impacted by the explosion. The explosion was national news that the then President Barack Obama attended the memorial service in honor of the victims.
Maybe I just wasn't paying full enough attention. Maybe that's more likely than
Sarp Bomb. On October 30th, 1961, a specially equipped bomber flew towards Novaya Zemlya, a remote island used for nuclear test. It was accompanied by a smaller plane equipped with a movie camera and instruments for monitoring air samples. Attached to the underside of the aircraft was a thermonuclear bomb that couldn't fit inside the interior bomb bay. Sarp Bomb's yield is estimated to have 57 megatons, about 3,800 times the power of the 15 kiloton atomic bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. When the giant bomb detonated over the target, it was so powerful that it destroyed everything within a 2-mile radius. In Soviet towns from 100 miles away, wooden houses were destroyed and brick and stone structures were damaged. Sarp Bomb's test was symbolic as it escalated the tension between the Soviets and the US. This bombing made headlines in the US, but the government wasn't impressed by the display of nuclear destruction. It's more than 60 years after this detonation.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this out there. A nuclear bomb is a nuclear bomb. Oh, it only destroyed like 2 acres. Yeah, but you know, that's depends on where they dropped it. You know, 2 acres is still a good amount of land. Not as big, but I mean, you know, I'm just saying. Maybe I'm thinking of something different size wise. But what I'm saying is, a nuclear bomb is still gonna have very lasting effects to thousands of years, if not hundreds of years later.
Yet no explosive device has come close to its destructive power.
Now it's time for today's best pick.
A subscriber recently came across this video and thought to share it with us.
Is this the newest one, the more recent one?
Now, so it was pertinent that we talked about it again. Like him, if you find something disturbing, send it to us and we'll do justice to it.
Yeah, this looks like this might have been the newest one.
Number 2, Beirut Blast. On August 2nd, 2020, a 2,750 ton of ammonium nitrate exploded on the port of Lebanon's capital, Beirut.
That one
Researchers say the explosion's force is one of the largest accidental non-nuclear explosions in history. The blast shattered windows around the capital and destroyed 3 neighborhoods. Over 200 people were killed and thousands injured. Engineering researchers say that the explosion had a force equivalent between 550 and 1,200 tons of TNT.
Jeez, look at that building.
Tons of ammonium nitrate have been sitting on Beirut's port for 6 years.
Look at that's insane.
The cargo was first abandoned on a ship that sat on the city's port, but was later moved to a nearby warehouse, the site of the explosion. Ammonium nitrate is used in the production of fertilizers and mining operations as an explosive. It's kept safely, but it can explode when mixed with fuel or exposed to intense heat.
It wasn't kept that safely, for fuck's sake.
There have been countless explosions in the 21st century, but the Beirut incident would not be forgotten anytime soon.
Yeah, especially with that video.
I have a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. Just leave a like on the video, smash the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And you'll get 25 years of good luck.
Exactly. You heard him.
Try
subscribe.
It really works.
Like.
Number 1.
Can you see my like?
Halifax Explosion. In 1917, a French cargo ship loaded with explosives for World War I accidentally collided with a Belgian vessel in Halifax, Canada.
Was this actually caught on camera?
More force than any known artificial explosion before.
Okay, was this actually caught on camera, or was this just redone on a for like a movie's sake or a TV show?
The force is said to be roughly 3 kilotons of TNT. The blast sent a white plume 20,000 feet above the city and provoked a tsunami as high as 60 feet.
Damn!
There was total devastation that killed about 2,000 people and injured 9,000. Naval personnel and the military worked with the civilians to bring relief to the affected people. Cities like Truro took in the homeless and stores donated to the needy. The Canadian and British governments donated millions for reconstruction, while the US organized a relief train filled with nurses, doctors, and supplies. To this day, the province of Nova Scotia sends a Christmas tree yearly to Boston as a token of friendship for the 8 Bostonians rendered in December 1917.
Okay, but that wasn't caught on
camera. These are the 10 biggest explosions caught on camera. Would you mind telling us about a blast you've witnessed and how it played out?
Okay, so I have a bone to pick with this one. Not all of them were caught on camera. that last one, just because it was filmed for like a show or a movie or something, doesn't mean it's caught on camera. 1917, I don't think there was any cameras made at that time. I mean, there might have been, but I mean, there wasn't any audio, obviously. There was... When did silent pictures become a thing again? I thought it was like early 19th century. I don't know. I'm starting to be confused about about a lot of things. But that's very interesting. I think 2 of them weren't technically caught on camera. I think all the other ones were more so caught on camera. And although it wasn't caught on camera, the one that's technically number 1, that's terrible, but it wasn't caught on camera. So therefore, it should not be on this list. That's my personal opinion, but again, that really sucks. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know of some other stuff that I should react to in the comment section below. I've been actually really wanting to get into like some true crime stuff. I don't know why, but that's been really getting, like, I've been really interested in that recently. Or maybe not even necessarily like true crime stuff, but I found this YouTube channel, what's it called? It's like Real Stories or something like that. And they do like all these different documentaries on just different stuff. And there was one where it was about like orphans in it's not Turkey, but it was kids that were abandoned in not Ukraine, maybe Ukraine, but I think it was also Bulgaria or something like that. And it's kids with learning disabilities or just mental disabilities in general, and they get abandoned, and then they have to get put into state homes, and they don't get the proper help that they need, and so they're very low in the mental. This sounds fucked up, but like mentally, they're just so far worse off than what they could be, like what their potential could be if they had a little bit more care, if they had a little bit more one-on-one attention, one-on-one time to like learn things and have a better, I guess, grasp on what's going on or something like that. There was one, I think one of the things was called had something to do with a girl named Morella. And it had to do with a lady that went there when she was 18. It was actually really interesting. I actually really liked it. But the problem is some of them are hour long, and some of them are quite long. So that's the only issue. So I could find some of those that look interesting that are a lot shorter, but still quite interesting. So I might look at some of those. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed these kinds of videos, let me know in the comment section below what else I should react to. Subscribe for more content just like this, and I will see you guys next time.